Hi garden friends, Miss Betsy here from the Fabian School Garden Program. And I wanted to reach out to you today before we start our weekly garden video and tell you that I'm thinking about you all. We're in the middle of a really amazing social uprising where we are fighting against racism. And I know there's a lot of feelings and probably a lot of questions that everybody has. I wanted to remind you how much I care about you, how much I'm thinking about you. So with that, enjoy our video today, everybody. Hi garden friends, Miss Betsy here. Welcome to my backyard garden. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, pollination. How many people out there have heard of pollination or pollinators? Go ahead and turn to the person next to you and share what you think pollination is. I'm going to listen in. Nice job. Pollination is the process by which little critters like bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds travel from flower to flower to flower, gathering this dusty stuff we call pollen. And as they travel from flower to flower to flower, they accidentally drop a little pollen, and that is pollination. Now, pollination is something really, really cool because it is what allows plants to make things like fruit. And inside of the fruit, the plants make seeds. Do you think seeds are pretty important? Yeah, absolutely. Why? Why are they? That's right, because without seeds, we couldn't have more plants. Wait, so you're telling me that without pollinators, we wouldn't have all of this delicious food that we eat every single day? Like strawberries and avocados and oranges and apples and cucumbers and so many more things? Wow, that's incredible. Thanks, pollinators. I'm wondering if you are ready to sing the pollination song with me. You know how I love to make up silly songs for you. Well, this is my newest one. Here we go. Grow, plant, grow, flower to flower. Grow, plant, grow, it's pollination time. Grow, plant, grow, fruit and seed. Grow, plant, grow, it's pollinators we need. So if you love fruit, veggies, and seeds, a little pollinator is what you need. If you love fruit, veggies, and flowers, raise the roof for pollination powers. Now, a fun part of the song that I really like is that you can change that word fruit for one of your favorite things from a pollinator. So does anybody have any ideas out there about something we could sing about? Blueberries? I love it. That's one of my favorite fruits that I can thank pollinators for. So if you love blueberries, veggies, and seeds, a little pollinator is what you need. If you love blueberries, veggies, and flowers, raise a roof for pollination powers. Scientists and gardeners, are you ready to go on a pollinator adventure with me? Let's go see if we can find pollination in action in our real garden. Here's one of my favorite spots in the school garden. Look at this little bumblebee. They're searching from poppy to poppy. Do you see the little orange chunks on the back of its legs? What do you think that is, scientists? That's right. It's pollen. Here goes a different kind of pollinator. A little white butterfly. Woo! There it goes. Look at what I found. It appears to be a dead bumblebee. Let's take this piece of grass just to make sure that it's really dead. Yep. Wow. It's interesting because I'm, on one hand, really excited for the scientific finding. And on the other hand, I feel a little sad that this poor little bumblebee died. I also feel really grateful because now this bumblebee is dedicating its very interesting little form to science. Thanks, little pollinator.
Here we are, scientists, investigating this amazing dead bumblebee that we just found in my garden. And I'm comparing it to this image, this little printed out picture of a bumblebee. So if this is the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, then looking over here, we can see that this part must be the head. This middle section where the wings attach on top and the legs underneath must be the thorax, and this bottom long section must be the abdomen. Let's flip our bee over and look a little bit up close. So interesting. Wow, do you see its wings? 1, 2, 3, 4. And do you see its legs? It's kind of hard to see them. There are 6 altogether. And something that's really interesting to me, I'm not sure you can see it. Look closely. Do you see this little brown piece that looks almost like a straw? Well, guess what? That's the proboscis. It's like a tongue shaped like a straw that the bee uses to sip that delicious liquid nectar out of the base of a flower. But perhaps most amazing of all is this yellow, dusty stuff. Can you see a little bit on its fuzzy body? Tiny, tiny little dusty stuff. And these chunks of yellow on its back legs. Guess what those are? You guessed it. Pollen. So that's so interesting to me that when a bee goes to collect pollen, it holds it on this little pocket on its legs called a bee basket. And that little area right there is absolutely full of pollen right now. So amazing. So as the bee travels from flower to flower, it shimmies down in the bottom to drink the liquid nectar, and it goes to the stamens that we talked about in our flower dissection video. Oh, here they are right there. See all those little furry stamens? Well, they're covered in pollen, and the bee will gather, gather, gather using its legs. Gather, gather, gather. And it might even get a little pollen on its body as it goes down into the inside of the flower to sip the nectar. Whew! It's a busy bee. Off it goes. Buzz.
Now that we understand a little bit more about how pollination works, let's take a look at some more pollinators together. I've also been seeing a lot of pollinators over here lately. Can you guess what this plant is going to produce once those flowers are pollinated? What do you think? They're green right now, but pretty soon these are going to become a juicy, plump raspberry. And inside the raspberry, what will we find? Seeds. A tiny bee in this calendula flower. Can you see any pollen on the back of its legs? Wow. Look closely, scientists. Do you see a little bird nibbling this plant? What do you think they might be eating? I've noticed that these flowers have been pollinated by bees, and some of them are turning into fruits that contain seeds. Do you think this bird could also be a pollinator as it brushes by the little flowers? Do you think some of that sticky pollen might stick to its body and travel? Yeah, I think you might be right. Well, everyone, it was wonderful to have you in the garden with me today. Thanks so much for learning about pollination. Before I let you go, I do want to give you your garden challenge. And that is for you to take a guardian that you live with so that you can make sure to stay safe and go outside and look for pollinators. Who knows what you'll find? I do want to give you a little special warning. If you see any of my wonderful little bee friends out there, be careful. They have a lot of work to do. They're very busy, and if they feel super scared, what might happen? Yeah, they might sting. So be extra gentle and extra safe. I know you will. You're so good at being loving in the garden. Thank you again so much. It was wonderful to see you. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.